Number 19, Edward Chiesa. Number 22, Elvis Amo. Number 30, Ben Ofeimu. Number 33, Hayden White. Number 41, James Musa. Number 99, Malik Foster. And your Indy 11 captain, number 14, Aiden Quinn. The head coach of Indy 11 is Sean McCauley. Indy 11 assistant coaches are Phil Kresser and Gabe Capone. The goalkeeper coach is Andy Swift. The head athletic trainer for Indy 11 is Josh Franklin. And the team doctor is Dr. Ashley Warren. This is Indianapolis. The Indy 11 takes the field. What a moment for this city. Our principles. Run, fight, scrap,
There has been an early trend for Indy 11 home matches this season. Unfortunately, that is rain. Indy 11, Detroit City FC will fight the elements and each other tonight at the Mike in downtown Indianapolis. Rivalries, but old faces in new places. Sebastian Guenzani here for the last 2 years, and former DC FC players James Murphy and Elvis Amo, both in the starting lineup for head coach Sean McCauley this evening. Thanks for joining us. Pitch side, Greg Rakestraw, Dan Capsalis with you on MyIndyTV and ESPN+. And simply put, Dan, well, it was kind of like assistance from above, like this rain last week for the Indy 11. Scoreless through 68 minutes. They scored 4 times late in the second half to win their Jägermeister Cup opener against Forward Madison 4-0. What got your attention from that 4-goal outburst a week ago?
The versatility in the attack, and we talk about that as one of the keys for Indy 11 tonight. A lot of versatility in their attack. They're getting movement from different players. They're getting scoring from different players. You see, nice little beautiful little toe poke from the 18 there. So they've just come up with a lot of different variations, and that's what they need. They need more guys to step up as opposed to just relying on 1 or 2 guys.
Elvis Amo has scored 3 times now in his last 54 minutes of game action, which is why he is inserted in the starting lineup for the first time in a championship match for the Indy 11. Well, you'll have to look hard or far to figure out where the offense comes from this Detroit City FC team. And for Trevor James and Danny Dicchio, they again have found something from afar. His name is Darren Smith. He is from South Africa. He has played in Finland, and right now he is leading the championship in goals scored with 6.
Yeah, he is a dangerous player up front. They rely on him. Him and Cedeno working together. Look for Smith. Indy 11 has a lot of work to do defensively to mark him up and keep him out of the goal, because he can put the ball in the back of the net at any second. And he's that kind of an explosive player.
These two sides know each other quite well. If you include a preseason friendly, they faced off 4 times against each other a season ago. First of 2 scheduled meetings comes your way next. We'll take this quick timeout. We'll come back. Starting lineups, opening kickoff from downtown Indy as you're watching USL Championship Soccer.
This is Molly. She loves road trips, hikes, her dog Max, and cars that fit her lifestyle, like this cool new ride that she got with help from Indiana Members Credit Union at a great low rate. And for when she's on the go, IMCU makes it easy for her to pay from anywhere thanks to their digital banking. Looks like Molly is really getting the max from her credit union.
It's very true that it takes a village to raise a child. And when it comes to my healthcare village at Community Health Network, it's all nestled right in my phone. Accessing healthcare is the ability to be connected with your provider and ask a question when you need it. I feel like when I'm meeting with a community nurse practitioner or doctor, they're tuned in to what is going on with me and the way that they can serve me best.
Stand by me. Find it, try it, paint it, love it. 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 Find it, try it, paint it, love it, love it, love it, love it.
Tonight's match is presented by Community Health Sports Medicine. Exceptional care simply delivered. And by your Central Indiana Ford dealers, a proud sponsor of Indy 11 Soccer. Visit your local Ford dealer today for great deals on your favorite Ford vehicle. Let's get you your starting lineups. They are presented by your Central Indiana Ford dealers, a proud sponsor of Indy 11 Soccer. Again, Elvis Amo goes up top. Slight tweak in the formation to a 4-3-3. Aiden Stanley goes to the back. Believe me, he'll get to the front plenty of times for the Indy 11 tonight. Of note, Romario Williams on the bench for the first time this season. He is slated to make his season debut. For Detroit City FC, again, Darren Smith is the guy you look for from a scoring perspective. What strikes me, Danny, is the guys that have been there forever. Carroll, Bryant, Amu Mensah, Connor Rutz. They have had some changes, but there is such a core this group has built from, and now their 4th year in the USL Championship.
That level of chemistry and that veteran presence, Greg, is a huge factor for Detroit tonight.
Both teams standing over the ball and getting ready to roll. First, a quick check of our injury report. It's brought to us by Community Health Sports Medicine, official sports medicine provider of the Indy 11. You'll not see Oliver Bernays or Brem Sumaro in the 18 for Sean McCauley's team this evening. Thank you so much for joining us for Indy 11 Soccer on MyIndy TV and ESPN+. Detroit City came into this building last year in March in the regular season. and got a win. The Indy 11 then dispatched Detroit City with relative ease in the Open Cup in late May in this building. The two teams played to a 0-0 draw in October. These two teams respectively were the 3rd and 4th seeds in the Eastern Conference last year, and both saw their playoff runs end on their home turf in the opening round in the first weekend in November. Yamazaki getting his first start in a Detroit City uniform. There's number 14, Detroit in the kind of third kit / away kits, the all white and a lot of green in those uniforms tonight for the team that goes by Le Rouge most times.
Like Indy 11's midfield lineup, Quinn and Murphy and Blake, that presence is going to be really, really key for this game tonight with Indy 11. They've got great versatility, like we talked about, in the midfield, and they've got that same versatility up top. They just got to find a way to connect and stay connected and utilize their ability to penetrate that final third and get some finishes off, Greg. They've got a lot of shots this season, but struggling to put a ball in the back of the net.
How about that delivery? Detroit City FC gets it done in minute number 2. Yamazaki sets him up. Connor Rutz, second time he has scored one in this building in his career. Not the guy you normally think of getting the opening goal. And the Indy 11 are chasing this game 90 seconds in. Yeah, wow, look at this breakout play. Yamazaki just puts the ball, taking a look, puts a beautiful ball across. Pretty simple touch for Rutz. Just a nice outside of the foot little chip. Beautiful ball, just gets past that line of the Indy 11's defense. Nice little tap in for Rutz. 1-0. Wow. Second goal of the season, has an assist as well. Guy from the Detroit area. Played his college soccer at Division II, Saginaw Valley State. Well, of the 11 goals that of the 12 goals they have, Greg, 11 of them have come from Smith, Cedeno, and now Rutz. So those three guys have accounted for 98% of all the goals that Detroit have scored. So they've got that versatility up top as well. And Indy 11, like I said before the game, they've got their hands full with these guys up top. Already with a goal into it, let's get to our keys to the match. They are brought to us by your Central Indiana Ford dealers. Proud sponsor of Indy 11 soccer. Well, Indy's chasing it. What must else they do to get back in and try to get in front? Well, they just got to settle down here. I mean, that's a quick goal that kind of unsettles you a little bit. So they got to be careful not to just, panic. And there's a lot of time left in this game, obviously. So find your rhythm, stay calm, stay composed, and just follow their game plan. But they've got to get touches on the ball, and they've got to get their midfield involved. From the Detroit City perspective, as a yellow is shown to Ryan Williams of DCFC. Again, an early goal already scored. In previous years, Detroit would get one, and that they feel that would be enough. They would kind of grind you down. What are the keys for the visitors in this match, Dan? Well, the keys for these guys is maintain their tempo, right? I mean, they've obviously started out with a heck of a tempo, and just they got to stay resilient. Last couple of games, we've seen Detroit come back from behind. They've scored several goals in very late parts of the game. So now they're up 1-0, and obviously they got to just maintain that tempo. That's what they're trying to do here. So far, they've done it. It's a Detroit City team that has only lost one time in their competition so far this year, and that was back on March 29th at Lou City. Nearly a perfect month of April. It began with a draw against Monterey Bay. They have won their last 4, including U.S. Open Cup and Jägermeister Cup play, beating Pittsburgh 1-0. Indy coming in off of a Jägermeister Cup victory as well. These two squads are in different groups, even with their geographic proximity. They're in different groups in the Jägermeister Cup. With Indy 11's attack, with Amo and Chiza and Foster, they have to just find ways to get in the game and stay connected with the midfield. We're playing with Blake in the middle. Indy 11's playing with Blake in the middle and Murphy and Quinn on the outside. That could be a heck of a combination if they can find each other. Malik Foster on the right side. Hayden White has the overlapping run in support. Murphy. Good find to Foster. Just could not keep it at his feet. Foster using that speed to try to keep the pressure up and going for Indy.
Foster's so quick. Find space for him, and boy, he'll take it.
Indy has won 3 of the last 5 against their rivals from Detroit. The last time they played was a draw at Hamtramck. Detroit City won in their first visit here back in the summer of 2022.
So Indy 11 just settled down a little bit. Find the rhythm.
And Hunter Salt plays that ball in our general direction.
Let's get ready to bring that ball down, Greg. Off the chest.
Select is proud to be the official match ball supplier of the USL Championship, from the Academy to the big leagues. Select is there every step of the way. Visit us.select-sport.com. Latest Select products, specials, and more. Select, the player's choice. Yamazaki had that excellent service, set up the Connor Rutz goal. He and Bruno Rendon were teammates with the Hailstorm of Northern Colorado in League One a season ago, meaning he played for the Indy 11's all-time leading goal scorer in Eamon Zayat. And Yamazaki has been little used until tonight. He may have already earned himself some additional playing time.
Made an instant presence tonight, that's for sure. First 90 seconds, he throws a beautiful ball into the box, and Rutz is on the other end of it. He's got an assist in the first 90 seconds. A pretty good start for Yamazaki.
It's the DCFC team that has had clean sheets in their last 2 matches. Before the win against Pittsburgh, they defeated Rhode Island 2-0. This is the start of a 4-match road trip for the visitors. Both these teams will play at MLS competition in midweek in their next round of Open Cup play. Indy heads to play the Philadelphia Union. Well, for DCFC, they're playing at the Chicago Fire. Mo nods this one down. Carlos Herrera is over to make the play. Carlos had spent the last 3 seasons with Monterey Bay. It is one of the changes this year for Detroit. Nate Steinwasser, who had held that position down for the better part of nearly a decade for Detroit City, retired at the end of last season. Carlos Saldana, Carlos Herrera have split time between the posts so far this year for the visitors. Indy was down 2 goals less than 10 minutes in their last home match 2 weeks ago.
Nice ball.
Advantage is being played here. Smith was fouled. But Detroit City's got numbers. Blake back in transition. Can he keep it in play? The answer is yes. Here's Chapman. Indy with 9 defenders behind the ball, now make it all 10 as Detroit City will reorganize.
Detroit's doing a nice job of really stretching the field. Both sides, they can switch the ball. Here's Cedeno on the outside. Just really doing a nice job of stretching the field. And Yamazaki, Cedeno on the outside, they're dangerous. We just dodged one. Indy 11 just dodged one there. If that ball had been served a little further, Yamazaki was on the far post, completely unmarked. Had that ball gotten over, he was just ready to pounce on that. So the service wasn't good, and that's what helped Indy 11.
So Cedeno will take the corner. He was traded from Oakland to Detroit at the end of last July. His 5th consecutive season in the championship for the native of Ecuador. A little conversation will take place before service is delivered. Well, the goal allowed by the Indy 11 is the 11th they have allowed, and this is the 6th league match that Indy has played. And again, simply put, that is not a winning number. Bending ball sent in. Eventually crosses the byline for an 11-goal kick. Sports, this match is brought to us by the Keystone Group, specializing in transformational developments, construction management, and investments. We had just a little bit of rain come through right before kickoff.
Goodness.
Blake got picked off by the official.
Yeah. Referee got in his way inadvertently, but it stopped Blake's ability to track the ball, track the player.
And that's why the whistle came there.
Yeah, it's a good call. It was incidental, but it stopped Blake in his tracks from making a recovery run here. You watch right here, he bumps right into the referee. So you see him kind of like, hey, what the heck? What's going on here?
Eligio Araguin is our referee tonight. Eric Del Rosario Gendara and Rob Ruda, our assistant referees. And Rogelio Alvarez is our fourth official this evening. Salts to the edge of his 18 and makes the play.
One thing Indy 11 has to do as well tonight, Greg, is have a little more forced pressure when they lose the ball. You know, Coach McCauley's talked about putting much more pressure on the player with the ball and making sure that they're tracking the guys making the off-the-ball runs. They have to do a better job of that, trying to win the ball back. It's all about transition, counters.
Indy 11 has not given up a goal in either of their cup competitions. U.S. Open Cup, 120 minutes against Miami, 90 minutes last week against Forward Madison. That is obviously a different story in USL Championship play. Michael Bryan a bit slow to get up. Part of the group that made the jump from NISA, a league that is no longer competing. Detroit City for that inaugural 22 campaign. He's been there every step of the way since they've joined the championship, and Detroit City has made the postseason every year since they joined this league.
Good movement here by Detroit again. You see Yamazaki getting wide, a lot of space. Couldn't handle the ball there.
Ball just got away from Yamazaki.
Detroit's finding him. Cedeno on one side, Yamazaki on the other, and Cedeno's been all over the place. He's in the middle, he's outside left, he's outside right. He's tough to track, and Indy 11's really got to keep an eye on Cedeno because he's such a playmaker. Yamazaki, you see him there, really having a nice first few minutes here with Detroit.
He had played in one league match for 1 minute before tonight. Amo goes to ground. Does not draw a whistle. Musa will shepherd this one across the touchline for an 11 throw in. Restarts coming quickly for the Indy 11. They'll get another one here. Fans, show your Indy 11 pride. Get your exclusive IMCU Indy 11 debit card at any IMCU branch or online at imcu.com today. It is Stanley that will reset here for Indy. Good win by Chizza. Chizza just one goal so far after having double-digit goals last year, playing for Bob Lilly in Pittsburgh. Villanueva charged with trying to slow down Malik Foster. Foster a goal and assist in back-to-back home games. That cross will lead to an Indy 11 corner, the first of its kind here in minute number 14.
It's good stuff by Indy 11, moving the ball from side to side, keeping possession, taking man on one-on-one, getting that opportunity to get the cross off. Now they get a corner out of it. Nice play.
They'll play it short. And Stanley trying to swing it in with his left foot, nothing doing. Murphy's ball does not get through. Chance for a counter here for Detroit City. Just two defenders back for the Indy 11. Malik Foster takes the absolute tactical foul. Don't think he'll get a card for it, but he'll get the desired result. It slowed down the transition look for Detroit.
It absolutely did. And Smith was on his horse. If you can't see it in this part of the view, but on the left side of your screen, Smith is in a heated sprint to the goal, and had that gone through, he was pretty clear.
This match is brought to us by Community Health Sports Medicine. Community Health Sports Medicine, the official sports medicine provider of the Indy 11. Exceptional care simply delivered. Smith trying to round the keeper, and he'll do it. Wow. Goal number 7, and once again Indy is down 2 goals at home. It comes in the opening 15 minutes.
And who is it? Mr. Darren Smith. He had just made that run minutes ago when they got the foul at midfield. Almost the exact same thing. He's coming through the middle of the field, and he's got the wheels, he's got the space. Salt tries to come out and make a play on it. As you see here, nice ball through, and he's just off to the races. Looked like it could have been a bit of a foul. He stays on his feet. Salt tries to come up, break it down, but Smith takes him to the side and puts it back of the net. Wow.
To Smith's credit, so many guys would have gone down there.
Yes.
He kept going and made the play.
Yes.
And did not leave it to the referee's whistle to make a decision.
And you'd love to see that. I think that he was confident that he could withstand that pressure from the defense and take that ball on. That's exactly what he did. What an incredible goal. And once again, we talked about him before the game started, how dangerous he is. And there he is right there. Wow. Indy 11 on the ropes. Big time.
It is a corner coming for the Indy 11. And that momentum, that good feeling from 4 goals in 20-plus minutes last week has completely evaporated here for Indy 11 early.
Yeah, they've got the wind out of their sails here for a minute. Again, we're 16 minutes into the game. Plenty of time, but they've got to get their composure here, and they've got to figure out Detroit's attack.
Well, headed away, finds its way back to Jack Blake. Blake's ball in, scooped up on a short hop by Herrera.
Not an easy ball to catch either. Herrera did a great job with that, getting his body down and getting his hands around that. Didn't give up a rebound. Makes it look routine, but that is a tough save.
Giving up goals in any location has been a problem for the Indy 11. Giving up goals here has been a significant issue. They have allowed multiple goals now in every home match so far this year.
Yeah, it's been the kind of trend they're not exactly wanting or hoping for. They've got to figure this out. Get their composure. A lot of time. I like their diversity in the attack that they have up top and in the midfield. Get Blake moving forward. They're capable.
Chizza the target. Ball did not get through. Blake on the service. It will turn into a corner, and already that is the 3rd corner here in the opening 17 minutes for the Indy 11.
That part is promising, Greg, because they're getting into the attack. They're getting into that final third, and they're creating opportunities, even if it's getting a corner. They've had 1 shot on goal, but getting inside the offensive third and creating opportunities like this.
Played the first 2 short. They'll send this one into Herrera. Just not much way of traffic in front of him for that to be any kind of threatening ball from the Indy perspective.
Yeah, beautifully done by Herrera. Times it well. What I like to see on a corner kick, Greg, that lofted ball gives the defense and the goalkeeper time to react and respond.
Smith again times his run perfectly. Waits for assistance here. Back to the edge of the 18. Villanueva could not keep it at his feet. And again, Foster. The more open this game is, the better it is for the Indy 11, frankly.
They've got to open up. When they're on their attack, they've got to open it up. Make it big, make it wide. Use the field, change the point of attack.
And a foul to be whistled on Connor Rotz against his old teammate. This portion of this match is brought to us by your Central Indiana Ford dealers, a proud sponsor of Indy 11 soccer. Visit your local Ford dealer today for great deals on your favorite Ford vehicle.
What I was saying earlier about the corner kicks, a lofted ball allows the defense and the goalkeeper to have more time to adjust their positioning. A driven ball is much more difficult to defend, and you get a one-touch redirect attack on the attack. It's a little bit better ball. I'd like to see a more driven ball on the attack when they're hitting a corner.
That'll be a foul against the Indy 11. So you've seen the Indy 11 possession happen kind of around the 18, but frankly, nothing dangerous has come from it yet.
Yeah, not yet. They're not, they're not sitting back. They're attacking. They're coming at them. They're creating some opportunities, but they just haven't had a really, really strong finish yet.
Amo gets a piece of that, but obviously still clears all the way to the midfield stripe. So no damage done from that pressure that was applied. Salt will redistribute. Chizza could not keep that in play, and a throw in coming for Detroit City FC. We got a special guest that's joining us here as we get to minute number 21. It is Kimball Richardson from our friends at Community Health, and He is with Community Fairbanks Behavioral Health and Recovery Center. Tonight is Mental Health Awareness Night here at the Indy 11 match. Kimball, thank you for the time. Good to see you.
Thank you guys so much. You know what I'm doing tonight?
What's that?
Taking care of my mental health.
Well, the Indy 11 are down 2-0. I'm not sure how the mental health of the fans here in the building is right now, but we are certainly glad you're having a good time. And
having a good time.
Kind of give us the short version as to what you do with the good folks at Fairbanks.
We provide hope for people who might be suffering from addiction, whether that be alcohol, drugs, combination, mental health issues. Yeah, so we've been in business, if you will, helping our Hoosier brothers and sisters for over 80 years.
Wow. I know one of the things that you wanted to talk about, and when I'm not doing Indy 11 matches, I am doing a lot of high school broadcasting. That's one thing the Indiana High School Athletic Association has been big on, is trying to let teens and parents and families know the dangers of vaping. How much are you seeing of that these days?
It's a lot. It's very dangerous, and we know that it's happening in the high schools, sometimes in junior high, and good Lord, grade schools. But yes, absolutely, it's a problem, and it can lead to other issues like further addiction and more serious.
How have you seen it affect specifically athletes? That everyone goes through,
right,
difficulties, and specifically in athletes. What do you see there, and what kind of trend do you see there?
Well, it's an excellent question. I think athletes, like other youth, if you will, other young people, sometimes have difficulty understanding that something can happen to them and the long-term consequences of use, whether that be nicotine, marijuana, any kind of vaping. So it's an issue and a problem, and can be taken care of, actually.
Again, Kimball Richardson is joining us from Community Fairbanks Behavioral Health and Recovery Center. And again, we're talking about things like substance abuse and recovery, but under the auspices of mental health, one of the toughest things to do is simply be cognizant to raise your hand and say, I need that assistance.
Boy,
and that clearly applies to what you do at Fairbanks as well. So I bring that up to say, how can people find out about the wonderful hope that you have to offer and work that you guys do?
Well, they can go to our website at ecommunity.com/behavioral health and recovery center. They can give us a call. They can stop by and talk with us and walk in if they like, or just give us a buzz and ask some more questions. We actually have some free programs, one called Family Connections, that is grant funded and allows people, family members, to come and ask questions about their loved ones, provides education and support for them too, because we know addiction is a family disease.
Well, again, thanks to our friends at Community Health Network. They have been a partner of the Indy 11 since day number one. Kimball, thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of the match.
Thank you, guys.
Great work, Kimball.
Thank you.
Keep it up. Appreciate you.
Kimball Richardson, kind enough to join us again from Community Fairbanks Behavioral Health and Recovery Center. 2-0 the score here in Indianapolis. Greg Rakestraw, Dan Capsalis with you. You're on MyIndy TV as well as ESPN+.
Good work by Fairbanks. It's an incredible service, highly needed in these days of all kinds of mental health, getting much more awareness.
This is Smith.
Man, what a touch. Beautiful touch, get that ball down.
In the box, it's Murphy tracking back to make the play. Quinn, as he usually does, finds the proper angle to attack.
Secure it! Secure it!
That time it was two DCFC players that occupied the same space. Eventually it's Rutz that will come out of there with it. If you're Sean McCauley, Dan, how can you change things here for the Indy 11?
Ball management. They've got to play a little bit better possession here, Greg. They're serving the ball long, looking for Chizza, looking for Foster on the outside or Amo up top. They've got to get through the midfield. They're bypassing the midfield right now and play a little bit more, balls to feet, 5-10 yard passes, and just try to maintain possession. But they're just not doing a good job of ball management at this point.
Cedeno. Finding dangerous space is something Detroit City has done exceedingly well so far. Afemu charging in. Rutz is down inside of the 18 for Detroit City. A second Detroit City player is down. Nothing whistled, and frankly, chasing the game. Indy will not step on it here. They will continue the attack. Both players are up and recovered. Villanueva was the last to do so.
Sometimes when a player goes down, sometimes it's legit, and sometimes they're going down to try to get a call. And then when they realize they're not going to get a call, it's funny how they just pop up and start sprinting 3 seconds later like, oh, I'm good.
That is a different type of recovery than we were talking about just a couple of minutes ago.
You know, it's one of those things in this sport that the guys, you know, I'm not saying Rutz didn't get hit. There was collision there, but he certainly wasn't hurt because he bounced up in 3 seconds and was sprinting a second later. So they're looking for the call. They're looking for that, that grab and try to, fool the referee. There's no VAR in this league, so it's all live action. And
look at this attack. Quinn forces, scores. Indy dials one back, and Elvis has his 4th goal in the last 78 minutes played. Elvis Amo sends the cue to the Brickyard Battalion to cue the smoke in minute number 27.
Well, I would have breakdown there for Detroit. They just left Mo just standing in front of the goal. He goes back to play the ball back to the keeper, and just a terrible, terrible back pass there. I don't know what that defender was thinking. He plays it back to the keeper here. Keeper plays it out. Then he tries to play it back, and Amo's right there. That was a Christmas gift. He can't miss that, and he buried it perfectly well. Great goal by Amo, but what a gift he was given by Detroit defender there.
Now has goals against Charleston, Forward Madison, and against his old team in Detroit City FC in the last 3 Saturday matches. Of course, this match is brought to us by McGowan Insurance Group and Auto Owners Insurance. They have teamed up to make tailored insurance policies for your family.
You know, it wasn't a goal that was like a build-up possession goal, great play, but opportunistic. Right place, right time, breakdown by Detroit's defense, and Amo's there to punish him.
Here's Foster's speed on display. Amu Mensah gets in the way for Detroit City FC.
It's exactly what Indy 11 needed, Greg, to get a little momentum here, get a little motivated.
But there's room at the back here for Detroit City. So many of these matchups of the years have been 1-0 or 0-0. Clearly not the case tonight.
Yeah.
3 goals have been scored in the opening 30 minutes.
I'd like to see Stanley get forward when he can. I know he likes to take that space, and there he goes. Switching with Ambo there.
Chiza tracking all the way back. So physicality's been allowed to go in both directions. It's been consistent so far.
Yeah, ref's letting him play. Some of those could have been called fouls.
And frankly, these are 2 veteran teams. You're better off probably officiating it in that fashion. There's Yamazaki again. Now Bryant.
Nice ball.
The one-timer by Villanueva just steered wide.
Again, they switch that ball outside to Yamazaki, serves it in, and they create this opportunity. They continue to find him. I'm thinking Yamazaki, he hasn't played much. Nice little ball there, and good one touch, just side of the goal. But Yamazaki, I'm just wondering, he hasn't played much, and now he's coming onto this field, and he's been a big part of this game. He must be just killing it in training.
In other words, the other direction you go with that as well is that there's not much of a scouting report on him.
Maybe.
And so
yeah,
that may be kind of an element of the game plan that Indy 11 wasn't prepared for, seeing him get this sort of run.
He has had a huge presence in this half, and not a name that we were planning on even announcing today. But boy, we probably said his name more than anybody's at this point.
From Japan, played at Davis and Elkins at the Division II level in West Virginia before transferring to Oral Roberts, Tulsa.
It's been really impressive.
And Indy was trailing 2-0 and then eventually 3-0 to the Charleston Battery in their last home match 2 weeks ago. Took them until past the 90th minute to get on the board. That has not been the case in this one. Today's match is brought to us by Dormicaba. Dormicaba for every place that matters. Frankly, both teams have been a bit loose with the ball in the midfield at times, which has led to some of these opportunities.
This is better ball management by Indy 11. Just send it long, try to play the feet. Short passing game.
Chisholm, Quinn, Stanley will track that down just in time. Quinn's service. Mo was waiting back post. And again, whenever one side throws numbers forward, the other one is trying to hit the fast forward button.
It's that transition. They're looking for that immediate transition, try to get numbers up, and the other team's offensive third.
Stanley didn't get the controlling touch he was wanting to.
That's where we talk about that pressure. Indy 11 needs to get that forced pressure to try to prevent that quick transition.
First card against the Indy 11 showed against Hayden White. Hayden, the native of England, joined the Indy 11 at the end of August of last year. Hayden getting his 4th start of the season. It is his 2nd yellow of the campaign. No Indy 11 player has more than 2 at this point.
The yellow card caution has been issued to number 33.
And obviously, you could tell that was deserving of a yellow.
Gave him a little rib shot there.
Also right in front of our referee, so it's Cedeno. He's just hopping up off the turf. Cedeno has started all 7 matches for Detroit City this year.
Such a versatile, dangerous player. Gets back on defense. He's in part of the attack. He's outside. He's inside. Tough to track. It's fun to watch.
Detroit City trying to get a win in this building for a 3rd time in their 4 trips for league play. And 2nd time in as many years. Mo. Well defended by Bronny, and those guys know each other very well, just playing in this league for so long, but being teammates a season ago. Here's Quinn. Quinn 3 goals so far for the Indy 11 this season, including Jägermeister Cup play. Elvis Mo joins him as a guy that has scored 2 goals in championship action. Indy has spread the wealth so far this year. Stanley. White, a veteran, over 250 professional matches in England, sends this one forward. Good read by Foster. Better assistance from Devin Amu-Mensah.
Yeah, I like that. Just playing a little bit more aggressive, winning that 50-50 ball, putting a little pressure on.
Right into the ball in by White. Possession starting to tilt in favor of the Indy 11.
Looking much better.
Frankly, their goal, the benefit of pressure applied by both Mo and Aiden Quinn. Murphy trying to slide it through, couldn't do it. That's the only man back, though, for Detroit City FC. And Murphy spent time with Detroit City last year after joining from Monterey Bay. Murphy got to play against his brother last week for a 2nd time as pros.
That's pretty cool.
Brother John plays for Forward Madison.
Is that what the mom has?
The split jersey?
The split jersey,
absolutely.
Right? Of course.
We refer to those as Peyton Manning jerseys around here.
With a 3-1 lead. 2-1 lead, Indy 11. Starting to calm down a little bit, and like we talked about, a little better ball management. Just got to find that additional opportunity. First one was a gift that Amo buried, rightly so. But Detroit is capable of continuing on their attack. They've got so much talent up top. Indy 11's got to do a really good job of pressuring every single ball and not allowing them to find and penetrate that space behind undefended areas.
Let's remind our Soccer Saturday fans is every Saturday morning on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. This week we spoke with Sean McCauley and Aiden Quinn from the Indy 11 perspective. Detroit City FC Sporting Director Trevor James and their television voice Neil Rule join the program today as well. Go back and listen anytime. Anchor.fm/Indy-11. Next week we'll have plenty to talk about. Same can be said for each of these two teams. You've got Saturday matches in the USL Championship, midweek matches in the US Open Cup. And both these teams have squads in the USL League, and that season rolls around in a couple of weeks. Indy opens up at home on May 16th.
A lot of good games coming up.
It's that overlap time of the year. W League season goes about 2 months. Last year on the women's side, Detroit City beat Indy 11 in the playoff quarterfinals in Hamtramck. Here's Chapman. Williams. Rutz couldn't keep it at his feet.
See how quick they move the ball, even under pressure. They can still get the ball off. They have such good vision. Detroit, they've got such good vision, understanding, and chemistry, like we talked about before, Greg. That vision and chemistry from the veteran players. They don't need a lot of touches. They need 1 or 2 seconds. They can still get that ball off. But even though Indy 11's doing a better job pressuring the ball, they're still been successful with their distribution.
Stanley did not hit the ball he was hoping to. Murphy will play it all the way back to Hunter Solt. Sports, this match is brought to us by Johnson Controls, the power behind your mission. It seems like time has flown in this first half. Speaking of flying, here's Malik Foster. Finds Amo. Teammates now for a second time. Left foot by Foster didn't go the way he wanted it to. He takes a tumble. Ball caroming around, and his touch last by the Indy 11.
Foster had just a difficult touch that just kind of bounced off of him a little bit. Couldn't get a handle on it. But there was a little bit of a mix-up in there, and balls are bouncing around, and that's when you get a lucky bounce and you bury it, but didn't come to fruition. But nice to see them creating, and nice to see them trying to finish that opportunity.
Foster got his goal in March against his former team in the Switchbacks. He joined the Indy 11 from Colorado Springs last August. Musa. Player down behind the play, that's Smith. Looks like he and Afemu tangled. It'll be a restart at the edge of the 18 for Detroit City. But the way that Smith is clutching that foot, you would assume that he may have inadvertently gotten stepped on by Ben Afemu.
Yeah, nobody likes to see this. Your top guy going down, and looks like he's in some serious pain. Let's hope it's can walk it off or nothing serious, but that's not a good scene for Detroit.
Let's tell you about Darren Smith. He has scored now 7 times in 8 league matches, turned 29 in March. He is the first player in Detroit City's history to have braces in back-to-back games.
That's amazing.
And you were talking about this off the air. In their match against Phoenix, they were down 2-0.
Yep.
With about the 85th minute. They scored 3 times.
Yeah.
He had 2 of them. He had a brace off the bench.
Yeah, it was fun to watch. Not so much for Phoenix, but I was watching that game and I was like, wow, this guy is explosive. And what I talked about earlier in the game, one of the keys for Detroit is their resiliency, and that proved it there. They're down 2 goals with 10 minutes to go, and they come back and win the game 3-2. So you know they have that character and level of perseverance if they do get down. It's a very difficult team to play, even when you're down or if they're up. There's either way they're coming at you.
And it is so tough when you're bringing somebody into this country for the first time to play professionally to know if that skill set translates, because it is so different playing here, the amount of travel that you go through. It's the perfect week to bring that up for the Indy 11. Obviously no travel to play this match, but on Wednesday night they're going to play in suburban Philadelphia, and on Saturday night they're going to play in Sacramento, California. There's not many places in the world where you have travel like that.
Yeah, it changes the whole dynamic of your preparation and the kind of mindset you have to have. Traveling can be very, very tiring and challenging for these guys.
That was a wonderful tackle by Carroll. You got to remember, Smith is now just waved back on. Detroit City was briefly playing a man down.
Looks like he's running fine. Good to see.
Our final 5 minutes of half number 1 brought to us by your Central Indiana Ford dealers, a proud sponsor of Indy 11 soccer. As your local Ford dealer today for great deals on your favorite Ford vehicle. This pressure generated the first Indy 11 goal. And with that, Herrera took no chances. He's hit it 60 yards the other direction. For Sean McCauley, what's your message to your guys at halftime?
I think they've shown some resilience. I think this is a nice opportunity here coming up.
Foul call just at the edge of the 18. Sometimes the match gets in the way. Partner from me, let me tell stories. Sorry about that. Elvis draws the foul. Again, not a point to the spot. It's outside of the 18. But obviously dangerous set piece time for the Indy 11. And again, it's just a Mo with unrelenting pressure that creates the opportunity. Amu Mensah whistled for the foul.
Good call. 1 more yard. He's in the box. That's a PK. Definitely got all leg. Good call by the official.
And Elvis, a veteran of this league. What he has done these last 3 matches was what you hoped he still had in him. I think there was some question, was he going to be in this super sub role? Well, frankly, he has played so well. He has dictated he needs more minutes, and he's doing it again tonight.
He's been explosive, and he's had a presence.
Quinn didn't get it through. Chance to reset for Blake. Good pressure by Detroit City. Chizza redirects. And Foster going to be called for a foul. That did not go according to plan for the Indy 11.
One thing you asked Greg about what Coach McCauley will talk about maybe at halftime, there could be several things. One of the things is getting Quinn and Blake a little bit more involved in the midfield. Let the ball come through them. They're the playmakers. They have the vision. They're supporting the attack. I'd like to see those guys get a little bit more involved. Their possession has been better the later part of this half, and they've created some opportunities. So they just got to do a better job, just pressuring the ball defensively. But I'd like to see the midfield get a little bit more involved and start dictating play here.
Sports this match is brought to us by Hyatt Place and Hyatt House in downtown Indianapolis. Experience comfort in downtown Indy. Hyatt Place and Hyatt House, Indianapolis. Because of 3 goals, there should be a good amount of additional time before we get to the halftime festivities.
Man, I back my head.
Good pressure by Stanley.
Quinn. Blake. Stanley to his left. Afemu, who is a native of the Detroit area, makes the play for the Indy 11. And he played his early days in this league as an academy product from the Philadelphia Union. Foster just keeps going. Cross blocked. White redirects.
Nice ball.
Foul against the Indy 11.
I like what they're doing, though. I like what Indy 11's doing.
Well, creating chances has not been a problem for the Indy 11. It's been finishing those over the course of this year.
And you got to believe, Greg, that when you constantly are creating chances like that, they're bound to put a couple of them in. I know they've had trouble in that category, but the fact is they're creating, and that's the good sign.
Now, we've referenced the number of goals they have allowed in league play. Here's the thing, they've scored 10. And again, last week they scored 4 times in 20-plus minutes.
Right. They've given up 10. Well, 12 now. and scored 10.
I think to some degree, both those numbers are a bit of a surprise in the same direction.
Right.
When we thought, as this team was kind of put together, I think there was a general thought that this was going to be a team that win a lot of 1-0 and 2-1 matches, and they played a lot of 2-2, 3-2, 3-1. And we're seeing it happen again tonight. 4 minutes, by the way, of additional time before we get to halftime. White looking to draw contact, didn't happen. Now the numbers advantage for Detroit City, but physics benefits the Indy 11. The turf here is notoriously slow, but with the rain earlier this evening, quickly things speed up.
Yep.
And the ball skips to the sidelines. Fans, you can take the boys in blue with you wherever you go. Get the Indy 11 app for Apple or for Android.
Yeah, the wetness of the turf definitely changes the way the ball plays and the speed of the play.
Famu does just enough to find Aiden Stanley. Chisholm. Still plenty of time before we hear a referee's whistle to signify the end of half number 1.
Love the one-touch, two-touch play, Greg. Speed of play is everything. It's all about the proper technique, receiving, getting your head up, taking a look, finding feet. Nice display here by Indy 11.
Love the run by Foster here. Foster couldn't find a teammate, but does find a corner. First one that comes from this near side corner flag.
Much better build-up. It's just a much better build-up when they're knocking the ball around, playing the short game, as opposed to throwing it long and trying to bypass the midfield and send it long. Detroit's defense is so good, so well managed.
Blake sends it in, and almost steered into Detroit's own goal. They need to have the benefit of an own goal a couple of home matches ago.
Yeah, it went off the defender's foot there, and Herrera was on it.
And not intentionally played back with the feet for an indirect free kick.
It looked like more of a it just hit him.
Correct.
But Herrera was on top of that, read it well. But you see the kind of build-up that Indy 11 just presented. That's what they need to be doing more of, because it works. And it disengages some of the Detroit defenders.
So restarts quickly.
Yeah.
A little too physical from Elvis. Again, this is his first start in a championship match for the Indy 11. 7th year in the championship for Elvis. His best year came when he was teammates with Cam Lindley with the Colorado Springs Switchbacks. He had 13 goals in 2022. Had 3 goals last year for LaRouge. Closing seconds of this one, just before we get to halftime. Still time here for Detroit City. Cedeno didn't get through. And that'll be that. We'll hear from head coach Sean McCauley coming up in a matter of moments again. This was looking a lot like 2 weeks ago at home, but ever since Indy got 1 goal back, they have done a much better job of kind of controlling the pace of this one. Sean McCauley is ready for us. Now let's get to him. Well, again, Sean, you just heard me. 2-1 is better than 2-0. That's about where you kind of stand right now.
Yeah, you know, we've had a terrible start. Again, you know, conceding 2 goals, it's very difficult to come back from that. But we've played, kept ourselves in the game, scored a goal, and, you know, we now need to try and get something more out of the game in the second half.
Now that you have gotten 1 back, anything you need to kind of change tactically, or is it just kind of keep doing what you've been doing these last 30 minutes?
No, we'll change things tactically. We'll probably bring another player on, take one off and match up across midfield.
Sounds good, my friend. We'll talk to you after the match.
Thank you.
Sean McCauley always kind of join us immediately at the beginning of our halftime show. We'll take this quick timeout. We'll, of course, have our typical look around the league, scores, schedule, highlights, etc. It's been active in half number 1. Detroit City FC got one less than 2 minutes in. They got another before the 15th minute. Indy has pulled one back for Elvis Amo. It's his fourth in the last 3 Saturdays. At halftime, Motown 2, Naptown 1.
I'm a happy-go-lucky guy, but sometimes I get a little stressed because I'm not for sure what's going to happen down the road. I was at the cancer unit, and when I come out from seeing the doctor, I said something about needing some help with all the paperwork. They gave me a name and a phone number. Her name is Molly. She works over at Community. She tells me, stop worrying. Let me take care of it. She is my angel.
Every place has a purpose, and the people who inhabit those places have their own reasons for being there. The last thing on their minds should be concerns about the safety of the places they are in. When it comes to security and safety for all the places that matter, Dormakaba offers a seamless flow of integrated solutions that allow people to move securely about their daily lives. Because the places that matter to you matter to us.
Tonight's match is presented by Community Health Sports Medicine, exceptional care simply delivered, and by your Central Indiana Ford dealers, a proud sponsor of Indy 11 soccer. Visit your local Ford dealer today for great deals on your favorite Ford vehicle. A shot of the John Wooden statue on the other end of downtown Indianapolis. Nothing Wooden or statuesque about this first half. And Detroit City had 2 goals in the first 50 minutes. Elvis Amo has pulled one back. Still, Indy is chasing the game by a margin of 2-1. Fans, this reminder, you can enter the Prinks Tires Tailgate Kit Sweepstakes for a chance to win a prize pack worth up to $3,000. Scan the QR code that you're about to see on your screen. There it is to make sure you enter today. Again, our typical look around the league. Had 2 matches already gone final today. 1 from Thursday night as well. And again, all of them involving teams in the Eastern Conference. So we'll have updated scores, schedule, and standings when we come back from this short timeout. Party crowd in Indianapolis. Home team trailing at 2-1. You're watching Indy 11 soccer on MyIndy TV and ESPN+.
We all have goals. But let's be honest. Most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
Whoa, termites can eat a pound of wood a day. 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 What's wrong, Daddy? Daddy? You okay?
Keep termites out of your home and your head with our premium guarantee that covers up to $250,000 in new termite damage. Before panic shows up, Terminix it.
Success doesn't come easy. It takes grit, hustle, and relentless effort. Every step forward brings you closer to greatness. This is your moment. Elevate your game. El Jimador, Spiked Bebidas.
It is time to cue the smoke. And aim, stand, fully crosser gets the goal.
It's Indy 11. Indy 11.
Indy's got another goal. Saved by Salt.
The most famous victory in Indy 11's history.
Cue the smoke.
Wow, what a thrilling defensive stand from Indy 11 before the break.
Back in downtown Indianapolis on the campus of IU Indianapolis. This place has been a home away from home. In fact, uniquely in this series, the road team has fared better. And it's because the traveling supporters go both ways. Detroit City 2, Indy 11-1. We'll get back to this match in a matter of moments, but first, our look around the USL Championship. We'll start with news and notes in this one from elsewhere around the league. 12 championship clubs are moving on. 7 get to host MLS sides. These 2 are on the road. Again, Indy at Philadelphia Union. Detroit will be at the Chicago Fire. Birmingham Legion have gone from one really good head coach in this league in Tommy Sohn to another one. Mark Briggs, who left Sacramento at the end of last year, now as the second ever head coach of Birmingham Legion. And Tommy had been there since the start in 2019. And Rhode Island FC had a chance to see those new digs. They played earlier this afternoon. Their brand new stadium, Centerville Bank Stadium. Over 10,000 fans in hand for last year's Eastern Conference champs. So how'd they do today against San Antonio FC? Let's show you that now, shall we? One of 3 games have already gone final. One of those was played on Thursday. That was the debut of the Commonwealth Cup. Why would Lou City and Lexington play on Thursday? Well, there was this thing called the Kentucky Derby that just finished about 30 minutes ago, and little did they know that the weather was going to be much better on Thursday than it was today.
Goodness.
Lou City got the victory. Lexington was out. We're down to 10 men in the second half, 2-0 there. The Charleston Battery doing Charleston Battery things. They scored on an Olympico from Juan Davi Torres. He had 2 goals in total. Charleston 4 and Hartford 2. The aforementioned Rhode Island and San Antonio FC match this afternoon finished in a 0-0 draw just outside of Providence. So with that, those are the 3 matches that have taken place already. Again, several matches will be taking place now or later tonight. In fact, a couple of them tomorrow as well, including one match you can catch on CBS Sports Network. Those pretzels must be really good. Detroit City 2, Indy 11-1. First half was pretty good too. Back as we get closer to second half action after this.
The main part of my job is definitely listening. People deserve transparency. I don't want the financial part to be something that stops or hinders a patient from having the health care that they need. I try to treat each person like they're my mom or my grandmother, my daughter, my husband. I want them to know that they're not just another phone call for us. And it's very rewarding to know that I can provide peace of mind.
This is Paul. He loves running, music, and DIY home projects. In fact, he's remodeling his kitchen thanks to a home equity line of credit from Indiana Members Credit Union. They connected him with a loan officer, got him approved at a great low rate, and made it easy for him to make his monthly payment from anywhere thanks to IMCU's digital banking. Looks like Paul can do it all with a little help from IMCU.
Success doesn't come easy. It takes grit, hustle, and relentless effort. Every step forward brings you closer to greatness. This is your moment. Elevate your game. El Jimador Spiked Bebidas.
Our team at Security Federal Savings Bank welcomes you to our newest location, our West Carmel branch on Michigan Road, here to serve you. All the services you expect from a premier bank, personal and business banking, wealth management, trust services, and much more. The Security Federal Savings Bank branch team offers the expertise and knowledge you want and expect. Security Federal Savings Bank, proud of our team and our newest West Carmel location.
Second half action moments away here on MyIndyTV and ESPN Plus. Detroit City 2 and the Indy 11 1 in our pitchside broadcast location, which has stayed dry so far. Let's hope that continues for 45 more minutes. Alongside Dan Campsalis, I'm Greg Rakestraw. Dan, your thoughts on half number one?
You know, the first part of that game was all Detroit to take a quick 2-0 lead. But I thought the second part of that half, Indy 11 started to show some composure, come back, have a little bit more resilience, and started creating more opportunities. I thought they actually won the second part of the possession game in the second part of that half. So let's see if they can pick it up. Coach McCauley talked about maybe making some changes for the second half. We'll see what those changes look like.
Well, if you didn't believe Dan for some reason, here's video evidence to prove it for you. Here are the goals from half number one. Again, it took Connor Rutz nearly 90 seconds. And again, Yamazaki, the serve was fantastic.
Yeah, and just pierces the defense, and he just gets a one-touch. Salt comes out nice on it, but look at the outside of the right foot. Just a quick, cheeky touch there by Rutz. 1-0.
And give it 12 minutes later, and Darren Smith has been doing, well, what he's been doing these last couple of months.
He just gets on his racehorse there, and Salt again comes out trying to make a play, but resilience there. We talked about resilience from Detroit. Smith could have gone down. It was a little bit of a foul there.
But thankfully for the Indy 11 perspective, they showed some resilience too. They did not give up on the match, and their pressure leads to a goal back. And for Elvis Amo, his fourth in the last 15 days.
Yeah, the defense, Detroit's defense there made a major mistake, but gave Amo a gift, and he took advantage of it and buried it. We got a 2-1 game, and this is far from over.
So a quick look at our halftime stats between these two teams. Possession, pretty balanced. A little more fouls for the Indy 11. Anything of those numbers really kind of jump off the page?
Well, the fact that there's 4 corner kicks for Indy 11, I mean, everything else is pretty even. But the shots on target for Detroit, shots on goal 2-1. But we've got more corner kicks, which means that they're trying to create. They're getting opportunities inside that offensive third. It's got to find that finishing ball.
All right, so with that, the first kind of change for the Indy 11 has taken place. Bruno Rendon comes in. Edward Chiza comes out. That tells me Indy is going from a 4-3-3 to a 4-4-2.
That's right. And they're going to have a little bit more of a midfield presence. Putting Foster's still going to stay out there with Amo and Rendon. We'll see if Rendon can give him a little bit of a spark. He's been capable of doing it in the past, and certainly capable of doing it tonight.
Rendon, the League One Defender of the Year. We've mentioned this a couple of times. His teammate last year with Northern Colorado certainly has made an impression in this match, and Haruki Yamazaki of Detroit City FC. So Rendon comes on. We'll see what the native of Cuba can do to help bring Indy 1 back. He scored on March 15th in a 1-1 draw against Lexington. That was the second match of the season for the Indy 11. Immediately Rendon is a target. Played as a defender last year, has been more of a midfielder for the Indy 11 this season.
What we thought was going to be a rainy night, Greg, seems to be turning out to a nice, cool little breeze, and rain seems to be staying away, which is really, really welcome.
I won't show you the radar then.
Oh, gosh. I haven't looked.
But for now, you are absolutely correct.
I haven't looked.
Blake sends it in. I don't think it's going to be anything of the torrential variety, just of the annoying variety.
Maybe I spoke too soon.
Good work by Villanueva. Better hustle by Blake to keep the attack alive. Indy 11 buzzing around the 18, and just a reset ball hit there by Detroit City.
They've come out of the gate strong here in the early part of the second half.
This portion of this half was brought to us by Dorma Caba. For every place that matters.
Like to see Indy 11 impact their midfield, get their midfield a little bit more involved in the game. Get Quinn and Blake, Murphy, get them in. Blake's a digger. I mean, he will dig and dig and dig and fight and scrape. Get him more involved.
White pressured off the ball. It was Jay Chapman. Touched it last for Detroit City. Chapman's first year with Detroit. Played his college soccer at Michigan State, which is the alma mater of our producer, Seamus Kreider, this evening.
Go Spartans.
Rendon got a touch to it. Generally, when you make a Michigan State reference in this league, it'd be for Ben Pierman, the head coach of the Charleston Battery.
I played, see, look at this and this. I played for his dad, Wayne Pierman, in Detroit back in the mid-'70s. I mean, that's a long time ago, but I played for Ben's dad. I think before Ben was even born.
Let's explain your Detroit roots, if you don't mind.
Well, we started there in 1973, and all my teenage years were in Detroit before we moved to Indianapolis in 1980. So a lot of growing-up years in Detroit, great times, and Wayne was my coach. Wayne Pierman was my coach for 4 years growing up. Taught me a lot.
Of course, Ben is the former head coach of Detroit City, right as they were first kind of getting going. Ben has done tremendous things at both Memphis and Charleston. How about this touch from Amo? Rendon able to track it down, plays it across. Foster was the target, never really got a boot on it.
Great play by Indy 11 and a great run by Foster, getting inside, going to the near post, getting inside the defender. Just could not get a piece of the ball, but that was a one-touch redirect. Great opportunity by Indy 11, and they keep coming. I like what we're seeing here, Greg.
Foster's speed is nearly unmatched in this league.
Yeah, he's so explosive. 0 to 60 in 10 yards.
Stanley with the run. Again, that ball, a lot of times in the turf, it'll hold up. Not tonight. Skips and heads across the byline for a goal kick for Carlos Herrera.
But I like that, too. Stanley getting into the attack a little bit. I mean, you got to be careful not to leave himself vulnerable in the back and stranded out of the 3 defenders. But him in that overlap on the outside flank gives him some space. And if he can get that couple of those in this half, it could add even more danger to the Indy 11's attack.
White, the read. Handball going to be called against Jack Blake. And for the Indy 11, this is their last scheduled home match until May 28th against Hartford Athletic. That's a Wednesday night after Memorial Day. And I say scheduled because there is a chance an Open Cup match could be here before then. You'd have to win at the Philadelphia Union. Subaru Park coming up on Wednesday.
What a great challenge that is.
I think for both of these teams, they feel they have gettable matches this week. At the Chicago Fire for Detroit City. And again, Philadelphia Union have punched above their weight for years in Major League Soccer. They're just kind of hitting the reset button. Let Jim Curtin go at the end of last year. Traded away Daniel Gazdag to the Columbus Crew a handful of weeks ago. Nothing comes easy. Let's face it, Indy won in Atlanta last year, right as they were kind of going through a transition. It was not a banner year for Sporting Kansas City, but they put it on the Indy 11 when they played them in the semifinals at the end of August. So I think both these teams feel it's possible.
Well, there's something to be said. You're going in playing against an MLS team. You're definitely the underdog. And when you're the underdog, it motivates you a little bit more to prove that you're not really the underdog.
Great job by Ofemu to put a leg in there. Cleared further by wide. It will be a throw-in coming for Detroit City. Indy 11 Soccer is sponsored by Johnson Controls. Johnson Controls, the power behind your mission. Detroit City won here 2-1 last year. Points have never been shared between these two teams in this building. There's been a winner every time, even in Open Cup play. Whatever reason, a lot of it has been kind of scheduling. The affairs have been far more cagey when they played in Hamtramck. A late whistle, but probably the right one.
The player down.
As Amo will be whistled for the foul. Yamazaki is the player that is yet to pop off the Carroll Stadium turf. By the way, this match is brought to us by Community Health Sports Medicine, the official sports medicine provider of the Indy 11. Exceptional care simply delivered.
Rendon up top for Indy 11. Amo has moved to the back, showing his versatility as well.
Quickly taken away by Blake. The ball for Rendon, though, does not connect with his teammate. Chapman. Villanueva. And Salt will scamper over to get that one. Clean sheet for Hunter. It was his first against Madison last week after having 9 last season. And again, for the stat nerds that are watching the broadcast, the stats from last Saturday don't count in the USL Championship standings. Those are separate, the Jägermeister Cup. That's why Dan and I were having this conversation earlier. It feels weird to say this is the 6th league match of the season for the Indy 11. Because you throw in Open Cup play, you throw in Jägermeister Cup play, you've played more than that.
Right.
But technically, this is league match 6 of 30 for the Indy 11. They were off in week 1, and they had an unscheduled bye week because of field conditions in Hartford 3 weeks ago. By the way, that has been rescheduled for a Wednesday, September 3rd get-together in Connecticut. Off the side of the foot for Cedeno. Played his teammate into space. Rutz making the run. The coach and Dan comes out there.
Little collision there. Those are kind of plays that the referee can see it different ways. You can see the attacker getting taken down. You can see the defender getting taken down. No call at all, but those can be very, very challenging situations for referees to get it right.
Murphy gets a head in there. Foster has been literally all over the yard tonight for the Indy 11. Mo gets a boot in there. And eventually a foul against Jack Blake. Fans, you can show your Indy 11 pride and get your exclusive IMCU Indy 11 debit card at any IMCU branch or online at imcu.com today.
You see the grit of Blake. There was definitely a foul there, but he's going in hard. He's in. He's dialed in. He's trying to make something out of this game, trying to change the course of the score here, and he's putting out a valiant effort in the midfield. It's nice to see him getting a little bit more involved in this half.
Afemu steps up. Very deftly done to head that ball back to Herrera.
That's incredible communication between the defender and Herrera, because Herrera's already on the 12, and that defender, he hits that ball over Herrera. That's an empty net. So great communication there and great execution.
Yellow shown against James Musa. So he joins Hayden White as those that have seen yellow for the Indy 11 in tonight's match. Musa, the veteran from New Zealand.
See the replay here. It looked like he got him pretty clean.
Stephen Carroll and Jack Blake having a bit of a strongly worded conversation.
Yeah, he just takes him out. He got all body, no ball. He even acknowledges, he gives the referee a thumbs up. Yep, I know the yellow's coming.
Jessiel Cedeno is the player that is still on the Carroll Stadium turf as a result of that hit from Musa. And James, a veteran in this league, he is 33 years of age. Really was more of a depth piece last year when he was brought here at the end of June. He has had his name in the lineup every night. In fact, in championship play, he has played every minute so far. That is his team high 3rd yellow of the season.
Seems to be getting up okay here.
A little bit of concern from the 11 bench saying, hey, there's some time wasting taking place here. And our 4th officials kind of nods and points to his watch saying, your objections are noted, good sir.
They'll add time. But he did get hit. Sometimes there's both a legitimate potential injury and a combination of embellishment. It's also about when you go down like that, giving your rest of your teammates a little bit of a breather. It's kind of a tactic. Let the rest of the team grab a little breath. The pace of this game has been pretty good. Indy 11 came out strong in the first few minutes. seems to have settled in a little bit here.
You're looking for just their second league win. That came back in their opener, which was a week behind everybody else. March 15th at Miami. They won 3-1.
They're due for a home win for sure, Greg.
Home fans saw one in U.S. Open Cup play, and that came in the 123rd minute. The latest goal in Indy 11 history, coming from Hayden White on service from Cam Lindley. It was on April the 16th. White and Foster on a different page. Could be a problem for the Indy 11. Cedeno sends it in. Salt parries it away. Now there's opportunity for the Indy 11.
Quick Connor.
Foster trying to time his run.
Oh! Goodness gracious.
Professional foul given by Yamazaki.
I mean, goodness. He knew. Boy, that's talk about killing the momentum. Indy 11 was off to the races with numbers up, and the only thing he could do was pull them down.
There was an equal level tactical foul going in that direction from the other team in the first half. So that has balanced each other out.
That is true. That is true. But you kill the momentum. I mean, that could sometimes borderline a red card.
Well, clearly you see on that great replay, to use the NFL parlance, the all-22 camera, Rick Battalion, another defender was back. So that's a yellow. That's the right call.
Right.
Wisely done by the visitors to maintain a one-goal advantage.
A great, quick counter, though, by Indy 11. They're capable. So they find that again.
Foster skies it. Ball knotted down. Amu Mensah. Anything outside of the 18 was a good ball from him, and Musa will like to keep that in play. Here's Stanley. Great sliding tackle away. It will be a throw, though, for the Indy 11. Stanley last year 9 assists to tie the club record. They all came before June 1st.
I like him getting deep in the attack. Adds another dimension. Try to get numbers up.
First substitution, and Reese Williams about to head to the fourth official for Detroit City. Ryan Williams steers it away. Bit of a stumble at the back for the Indy 11. Detroit not interested in throwing a lot of numbers forward here. I don't think they're exactly sitting on 2-1. They didn't feel that was the time or place. Amu Mensah. White. He's got to be careful. He's got to be careful. Because if that's a yellow, that's a red. That's his second yellow of the match. Indy will play a man down. First red card shown to an Indy 11 player this year.
Well, he definitely goes in for the tackle. I don't know if it's as egregious as the referee sees it, but again, this is live action. He doesn't have any advantage of video replay. White does go in. We'll take a look here. He does go in. He slides. It's kind of cleats up a little bit. Takes him out from behind. That's a pretty easy call. It's a foul. And referee deemed it was a second yellow.
It also means that Hayden White will miss next Saturday's match in Sacramento. And again, knowing you've got Open Cup play on Wednesday, it probably dictates that you change now maybe how you rotate players Wednesday, Saturday. In other words, Hayden now, after exiting with 30 minutes to go, I think he knows he's going to play the full 90 on Wednesday, because now he's not making the trip to Sacramento on Saturday. I want to also walk through something. You saw a referee kind of put the X up, and that's a kind of an initiative, kind of a rule change this year. When the referee says that or does that, that is designed to tell players, hey, if you're the captain, I'll have a conversation with you.
Right.
If not, you are to make sure you give me the proper space.
Right. He's inviting the captain over, and only the captain.
And that was the person that he was having the conversation with, and Aiden Quinn at that time.
Right.
So Hayden White's night is done. Indy will have to make up a goal down a man. It is Smith, the player, that is just now getting to his feet for Detroit City. And as we referenced, Reese Williams was to the fourth official. We'll see who he's checking in for here. It could be Smith. It's not. He's going to be coming in for in Yamazaki, who in league play had played just once this year. But what a find he was, and he is going the long way.
He had a nice game, Yamazaki.
He set up the first goal for Connor Rutz.
So Indy 11 has to adjust here. They're going to drop Rendon in the back, so they're going to keep 4 in the back, 3 in the midfield, and probably 2 up top. But they might even go a 4-4-1 here. 4 midfield. That's what it looks like they're going to do. They're going to drop into a 4-4. It's tough when you lose a man. You don't think it's that much, but it is. A lot more open space. A lot more open space for Detroit to find and penetrate.
It's a reminder, fans, watch Wish TV, your local news source. Find them online at wishtv.com. And here on MyIndyTV, you can catch the Wish TV news at 10 o'clock. First time the Indy's been a man down this year. So at first glance, they're going to stay 4 at the back. Maybe 4 in the midfield and just 1 up top. Expect to see Elliot Collier at some point in time for the Indy 11.
Yeah, we'll see what Coach McCauley has in mind here. The other adjustments. Amo's going to stay the number 9 up top.
Rendon plays that back to Hunter Salt.
It's a little more difficult now with 10 men to keep the players wide.
We'll go back to a foul in front of the Detroit City bench. And a card going to be shown to Aiden Quinn. So things starting to unravel a bit as Ryan Williams slow to get up. Ryan, 34 years of age, from England, 2nd year with Detroit City.
Yeah, referees getting pretty strict. He's very decisive in his decisions here. He's not wasting any time. He's very quick to try to keep control of this game.
I'm immensely told to get a little closer to the bench in terms of the restart. And obviously Detroit City can opt for possession at this point, but Chapman gave it away, and now he will be shown a card. And the 11 is Elvis Amo is down.
Keeping the ref busy. It's a clear foul. It's a good call. Chapman came in reckless.
Chapman, a player that has had over 100 appearances in Major League Soccer with Toronto and Inter Miami. Obviously, if you're Indy, you are hoping to level this match and hoping to find a way to kind of level the playing field to make this 10v10 when you have the opportunity.
They got Quinn in the middle and Foster and Blake on the outside in the midfield. See if they can find a little bit of opportunity here. They've had to mix it up a little bit because of the man down. Change to formation. It's not a formation or a change that any coach wants.
What a flick here. Amo, give it to him. The brace for Elvis, and it's tied at 2. Indy levels a man down.
What an explosive play. I mean, they're a man down. We just talked about trying to find their rhythm a little bit, trying to find some opportunities. Amo, what a brilliant strike. Hits the far post.
Quinn gets just enough on that ball.
And Herrera's stuck on the 6. He can't move. He knows he can't move, and he has inches to put that ball in. Absolutely brilliant from Amo.
And now that Indy has leveled the match, a line change is coming in for the Indy 11. 3 substitutions will all enter. For Elvis, his last touch of the match will be the one that found the back of the net. Elliot Collier will come on. Josh O'Brien will come on. Romario Williams will make his season debut for the Indy 11. Indy does have one more sub they can go to. And now, obviously, how you play this match just changed dramatically for the Indy 11.
Absolutely.
All of a sudden, a point is a very good thing if you're Indy.
Absolutely. I mean, talk about resilience coming back from 2-goal deficit. You know, they've outplayed Detroit in the last part of the first half and feel like they've outplayed them in the...
Villanueva couldn't keep it at his feet.
And to put a ball in the back of the net with a man down is not an easy thing to do.
Frankly, this will now kind of be a firing range likely for Detroit City. That will be a corner. Moose's sliding tackle will send it to the corner flag.
Yeah, I think Detroit now smells a little blood. They know that they're up a man. They've got to figure out, you know, how we can get this game back in their hands.
I think you tell Detroit before the match a point would be a good thing. It's not now.
It's not now.
Not with a 2-goal lead and not with being up a man.
Right. On the road, you get a point, great. But not when you're up 2 goals.
And you get another conversation taking place before we hit the reset button here.
Ref's doing a nice job. He's keeping these things under control. Very, very strict.
Williams has a window. Ball headed down. Ask for a handball, won't get it. Immediately the referee says no, shoulder.
He was in great position, the referee, to see that.
Ligio Araguin, our referee tonight. Bending ball in by Chapman. Salt does just enough. And immediately Sean McCauley says, slow down. Now you're not taking quick restarts. Now you're letting your team get up the pitch before then punting this ball somewhere towards the White River.
And Salt's strong enough. He probably could hit it.
Like that.
He hits a ball 70, 80 yards. It's incredible.
And just to make sure the substitutions, we mentioned the 3 players that were coming on. Mo done for the night. Malik Foster done for the night. Jack Blake done for the night. Elliot Collier in his 41st appearance as a sub for the Indy 11. That ties the team record.
Fantastic.
Joining Matt Watson in that category. Elliot with an assist last week in a similar role. In the victory against Forward Madison. Collier earns another throw-in. This match is brought to us by the Denny Companies, tearing down the past so you can build the future. Well, Indy saw a 2-goal lead evaporate at home against North Carolina FC a month ago. Different feeling about a similar situation here. And that'll be a foul against Detroit City.
And it's nice to see them come back from a deficit. They haven't been able to do that, so this is showing some character, and with a man down, even more character. And they're not done. They're not done tonight.
Well, the issue for Indy has been holding a lead. That's been the problem.
Yeah.
No such problem tonight when you give up 2 in the first 15 minutes.
What's interesting about this too, Greg, is we're down a man. It's 2-2, and I think Detroit feels like they're on the ropes.
Bending ball in. Williams got there first. Collier gives it a hit. Goes all the way through, doesn't touch a soul.
Nice opportunity. Got a good bounce. Try to volley it out of the air. Looked like it might have hit his shin before it hit his foot. Just got a little bit off target, but again, nice opportunity created by the 11.
Good read by Rendon. Again, another kind of casual giveaway at the back by Detroit City. Murphy against his old team. Probably wants to have that one back. And Williams, again, tactical foul.
Yeah, a couple of stray balls from Detroit and there for Murphy. When you have the ball, the last thing you want to do is give it up. Make an easy pass, play the feet. Hate to see it just given away like that. Drives coaches crazy.
Pair of substitutions ready to enter for Detroit City, and one that we know very well in Indianapolis. Musa steers that one clear. Collier. And again, you've heard me say this phrase a lot. Professional foul, tactical foul.
Yep.
Bryant picks it up.
Got a yellow on it.
Sebastian Guenzati will enter to play against his former team here the last 2 years, and I lost track at about 4 or 5 people that when they saw Seba on the field, sprinted over to give him a hug.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
That was the impression he left
Pre-game, yeah,
in Indianapolis. Cool. One of the best players in the history of this league.
Yeah, Lindley was there greeting him. It was cool.
Amu Mensah stumbles, opens it up for Rendon. One touch to settle. The cross for Williams. Could not keep it on target. Again, this is a Detroit team that came from 2-0 down to win a match 3-2. Indy 11's trying to do the same, but to do so with one less player on the field because of the red card issued to Hayden White.
Nice play there. Williams just a little bit too high for him, just couldn't get down on the header there.
We'll get to that second player that will enter momentarily for Detroit. I think it's Shane Wheat that'll be the other player into the mix. Carroll. Frankly, possession around the back will not be a problem for Detroit City the rest of this match. Indy will give that up. It's also not where Detroit wants the ball to be at this point either. Quinn, the settle, leads Collier in stride as Williams and Rendon. Collier on the charge. Williams, Murphy, Rendon. Not out of danger just yet. Here's O'Brien. And he's largely been a cup competition player. Not the supporting run there with Romario Williams.
Nice run by Collier, taking the space. You can see a long stride that he has. Help create that opportunity.
And Indy content to allow Detroit to possess here. Amu Mensah trying to pick up the pace a little bit. This reminder, fans, Indy 11 Premium Suites, the perfect way to entertain clients, family, or friends. Learn more at Indy11.com.
Yeah, they need everybody behind the ball when you're a man down.
Villanueva to Rutz. Scored the first goal of this match less than 2 minutes in. Headed away by Musa. And Rendon. A real estate ball is not a bad thing for the Indy 11 right now.
Take a little break, relief from the backs. Take off a little pressure. Been really impressed with how Indy 11 has handled this 10-man run right here. Not only getting a goal, but just keeping their composure, staying organized. You see the constant communication going on with the team out there, directing traffic. So far, they've held guys like Cedeno and Smith at bay. They haven't had much impact in the second half at all.
Wenzati heads to the fourth official. Wheat will join momentarily. Wheat has spent time in both Pittsburgh and Sacramento before making his way to the Motor City. Williams on the sprint, couldn't get there for the Indy 11. And making his season debut in any competition. Rutz. Villanueva, the cross, Ofemu sells out to block it. It will be a corner here in the 76th minute.
Great recovery by Ofemu. Villanueva was in. He was looking to hit that left-footed shot, far post. Ofemu just slid right in, clean tackle.
Quick restart with the numbers advantage. Villanueva stood up by Stanley. Bending ball, back post. Didn't see who cleared it for the Indy 11, but if that finds a Detroit City player, that's goal number 3.
That was a nice ball.
Villanueva again. Just 22 years of age, but he has been in this league for some time. Rutz takes a turn off of Stanley. Salt sends it wide. Another corner coming for the visitors.
Wow, great reaction by Salt, because it went off of Stanley and took a little dip in direction there, and he had to adjust his feet. Watch him here as he comes through. Just hit Stanley. It's going one way, and then Salt realizes, wow, I better turn to my right. Nice play.
Bending ball again, did not get all the way through. Williams on an island at the top of the 18, and you've heard me say veteran move in terms of fouls. You can have a veteran move in terms of taking a foul as well.
Yeah. Well, it's always good to give a foul. If you're going to give one up, you want to give it up in the midfield where it's not as a dangerous foul. You want to. They're done to break momentum. They're done to give you a little bit of a break from transition.
So Sebastian Guenzati, and he is obviously identified with the New York Cosmos in his NASL days. In 6 seasons with the Tampa Bay Rowdies, but the last 2 here. Wait is in for Villanueva. And this has been the role that Sebastian has played for Detroit City. He's played 5 matches, 71 minutes. He had 16 goals in 61 appearances with the Indy 11 the last 2 years. This is Seba's 13th year as a professional. And he is tied for 3rd amongst active players with career goals with 75. The Brickyard Battalion really doesn't want to see him break that tie tonight.
Yeah, no.
Back post, ball sent across. And couldn't find Guenzati.
Detroit's picking it up a notch, coming up with some dangerous opportunities, switching to point of attack. They're doing a better job of attacking the goal.
In case you were wondering, those players that have more goals that are active in league play, Cameron Lancaster, 80, now of Lexington SC. Another former Indy 11 man, Augie Williams, has 77, now of the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. Pat Hogan will be the 5th and final sub for the Indy 11 tonight. Tonight's match is brought to us by the Morales Group. Staffing agencies find jobs. We build futures. The Morales Group. So Hogan will come on. Aiden Stanley will have the rare moment where he sees his number on the board. He was subbed out a couple of weeks ago because it was his 3rd match in 8 days. But it is rare that Stanley doesn't see the finish of a match.
He had a nice game. He made a lot of great runs outside the flank. Created some opportunities.
So what that is for the Indy 11 is basically saying we're going to send one less body forward.
Right.
One more big body at the back.
Yeah, they're not playing for a tie, but they're trying to make sure they don't give another one up. So it's a good move by Coach McCauley.
Hogan began the year as a starter, has been coming off the bench the last couple of weeks. And spent the last couple of years with the Pittsburgh Riverhounds.
White's done a nice job in the back, just cleaning things up and tracking players, tracking balls. You don't need to press here. You see Indy 11 kind of giving them a little bit of space. Once they get into the offensive third, then they're going to have to force pressure. But right now, keeping them in the midfield, keeping them at bay, they're comfortable with that.
There are certain pockets where the ball's not going to hurt you.
That's correct.
And then there are ones where it will.
Yeah, once they penetrate the offensive third here, they're getting close.
Looking back post, Afemu steers it away.
There's just no outlet, so they're just going to give it up and they're going to come right back. Feeling a little, Indy 11's feeling a little pressure right now. They just got to stay resilient.
Afemu again.
Stay disciplined.
Steps in the right direction. And for Afemu, he's playing his hometown team in Detroit City. And he plays the team of his youth on Wednesday. Since we first saw him then when he played for the Bethlehem Steel when they were the USL Championship affiliate of the Philadelphia Union and what became Philadelphia Union 2. Collier could not track that down. Nervy moment here. Ball didn't get all the way through. You're now in the somehow, some way category for the Indy 11. Just find a way to keep it out of the 6.
Yeah, they've got a lot of pressure on them right now. Key is make sure they don't.
Carroll has a hit. Salt, the diving effort. And the flag goes up. Amu Mensah was in an offside position. So when he chased it, flag went up.
Great call.
Fans looking for the best deal in town. Check out the all-new Pabst Blue Ribbon deck. We'll tell you more about that in a matter of moments. First, this great look.
And Salt gets there. I mean, you don't assume there's an offside play. Nice strike. Salt gets there, pushes it away.
You want to hear more about Pabst Blue Ribbons?
Yes.
It's always a good way to go on a Saturday night. Check out the Pabst Blue Ribbon deck next time you're at a Carroll Stadium and enjoy $3 PBRs all game long. Tickets are available at Ticketmaster.com or the Indy 11 box office. Day of game, Pabst Blue Ribbon, because you deserve a blue ribbon. You know, it's kind of a bad news, good news scenario, Dan.
What's that?
The Open Cup was here on April the 16th. I don't have the chance to broadcast the game. You know what the good news was?
What's that?
I had this very seat and enjoyed a Pabst Blue Ribbon. It was wonderful.
kind of like a Harry Carey moment.
You gotta find the. It's the 50th anniversary of Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
You deserve it, Greg.
I'll quote a different movie. You got to look on the bright side of life.
That's right.
Go Life of Brian on you.
Life of Brian. Oh, little mix-up here between Afemu and Salt. They communicate there. That could have been dangerous.
Of course, this match is brought to us by the Keystone Group, specializing in transformational developments, construction, management, and investments.
That was Musa. Sorry, not Afemu. That was Musa. And Salt.
Amu Mensah goes down. Amu Mensah not happy with Rendon.
Oh, that's a red. That's a red. Absolute.
It will be a yellow that is shown.
Oh, goodness. I don't know.
Well,
he took a punch at him.
Amu Mensah is claiming, hey, he pulled my hair. You can see exactly what he's saying. Amu Mensah went down behind the play. He then got frustrated. And again, while at home you are watching what our camera is showing you, both Dan and I are kind of looking to our left at the edge of the 18. And Amu Mensah was lining that one up as Rendon was getting up.
I mean, I get there might have been a foul before that, but you know, you hit a player. I mean, both of his arms were just flat out thrown into him. That is generally an automatic red.
It's a yellow that was shown. And what it does from the Indy 11 perspective in terms of benefiting them, it's a lot more time that is coming off the clock here when you're playing a man down.
What they're arguing about here. Carroll's the captain. He's talking to.
He's lobbying for a call. He's also basically saying, hey, go ask the assistant referee if he saw something. The Brickyard Battalion, by the way, agrees with your diagnosis of the situation.
That was pretty egregious. It was pretty clear. I'm shocked he didn't get a red.
Your Central Indiana Ford dealers are a proud sponsor of Indy 11 Soccer. Visit your local Ford dealer today for great deals on your favorite Ford vehicle. Throw in coming for Detroit City. They have another substitution heading towards the fourth official. So they've had one more change they will apply to this match. Because of subs, because of the red card. There's still a lot of time left, even past minute number 90 at this juncture.
The 11's keeping their shape, keeping their discipline. But Detroit's coming.
Diouf will be the final substitution for Detroit City FC. Carroll wants it. Slides it through. Afemu again. O'Brien couldn't keep possession for long. Reese Williams took it away.
call that forechecking in hockey. The offensive player comes back and wins the ball. Really well done by Detroit.
If you want to go that direction, the Indy 11 is not concerned with icing at this point,
No,
being a man down.
No. The problem is for Indy 11 right now, they just don't have an outlet. They're trying to maintain their discipline and just get the ball loose, but it just gets knocked back to the midfield like it is here, and Detroit just gets to reset and try to find a way to get it back in, penetrate inside the box. Indy 11 just doesn't have an outlet. They're just trying to hold on here.
To the edge of the 18, Afemu buys a little bit of real estate. Wenzani was the target. Williams does just enough. Here's the opportunity. Off to the races. Great read by Herrera.
Wow.
It's exactly the play he had to make.
He's out 35 yards, and my goodness, he doesn't read that.
If he's not there, Rendon is in on him. It's a great play by Herrera.
Yeah, great heads up. That's what a keeper has to do, though. They have to have that type of anticipation and vision.
Ball sent in. Afemu got there first, and it will take a pro Indy 11 roll. It is a throw in, not a corner. And now Diouf will be welcomed on. Connor Rutz will sprint to the bench for Detroit City to make that substitution as quick as possible.
Had a nice game. Scored their first goal, Rutz did.
Your substitution for Detroit City FC in the Indy 11 entering the game is number 32.
Williams from distance.
Wow.
Up and over the bar.
Well struck.
Salt never touched it. But you saw the 6'7" plus vertical of Salt. Make sure that was above his eye level.
He was not going to assume anything on that one. Well struck. Ball.
Second year on loan for Salt. The Portland Timbers. Just 23 years of age, the native of Anchorage, Alaska.
He's had a nice game tonight.
I mean, the stats are not as sparkling for him this year compared to last year. I think a lot of that is what has happened in front of him.
Yeah.
I don't think it's on him.
No, of course, the people in front of the goalkeeper, you always said that it's never really the goalkeeper's fault, because if you're allowing a shot to be taken, something has gone wrong in front of him. So generally you never really blame goalkeepers on, but when they make a mistake, unfortunately, it's magnified because it's in the back of the net.
Great work by O'Brien. And O'Brien went the distance in the Open Cup match, but has been little used in league play.
It's a nice ball.
Diouf. Chapman. Bending ball, looking back post. Indy got there first. Murphy lifts it about 20 yards to the middle of the park. He glanced toward the fourth official. 6 more minutes left to play, a man down for the Indy 11, trying to get one of their better points of the year, given the time and circumstance. This one balloons to the 6, and O'Brien heads it forward. Rendon buys a few more paces. Chapman just trying to find a window, and that's the best case scenario for the Indy 11.
Easy one there for Salt. Pop fly kind of ball.
Final portions of this match are brought to us by Community Health Network. Exceptional care, simply delivered. The last time Dan and I were together, it's going to be a foul on O'Brien. We trotted out a phrase: there are draws that feel like wins, there are draws that feel like losses. If Indy can hang on, this would feel like a win, but that's a big if right now. Collier dives in, ball goes all the way through, not done yet. Salt swats it away.
He got up and he came across the goal, and just a goalkeeper, all you need to do is just keep the ball in the net. It doesn't have to be pretty, it just has to be a save. He came across and just swatted it volleyball style.
And with the numbers advantage, short corner, shot is scuffed. Now it's campfire time for the Indy 11, and that's exactly what you wanted to have happen. Draw the foul. Every foul is 15, 20 more seconds.
He's down on the ground and just sprints. His ball's potentially going in far post, and he just swats at it.
Looked like Miles Turner against the Milwaukee Bucks.
You know what? Yeah, it just, it doesn't matter what kind of save it is. It's a save. And goalkeepers know that they have to do everything they can and throw their bodies around and arms and legs. And boy, he came from the ground in the far post to swat that away in the near post. Really athletic play by Salt.
Great flick. Right idea by Rendon. Just Williams couldn't latch on to it. Throw in coming here for Detroit City. Carroll in his 9th year with DCFC. Williams with Reese and Ryan Williams on the pitch currently for LaRouge. At the edge of the 6, Afemu again. And again a foul by Wheats. And again, that's, you take the foul.
Oh. So the ball was moving.
Ball never fully stopped.
Yeah. Love the quick restart. Ball was still in motion, so he's got to bring it back.
Love the idea, but now once the whistle blows, now from the Indy perspective, you treat this the exact opposite.
Right.
Now you want to contemplate the meaning of life before you restart this.
Right, that's right. Take your time.
Start planning for Mother's Day gifts 8 days from now.
This could be a good service by Salt here.
To the edge of the 18. Quinn might have a hit from this distance, knowing Aiden pops it up. Rendon couldn't get there in time.
Well, it looked like Rendon got his shirt tugged on there a little bit. Couldn't quite see the angle, but it looked like he got his jersey grabbed as he's going to that, but referee wasn't in position to see it. Rendon didn't seem to be bothered by it.
2 more minutes plus. Keep your head above water if you're the Indy 11.
Yeah, at this point, this would feel like a good victory for Indy 11.
Chapman sends it in. Again, Detroit has been outstanding at seizing moments so far this season. Can they do it again?
Again, they're just having that trouble with the outlet. That's all they can do is just send it long. They don't have an outlet. They can't take the chance of going forward in transition. So what they're doing is exactly right. They're sending the ball long, even though they're giving up possession. They're staying behind a little bit. Would say packing it in, but they're just staying in a defensive shape. And it's smart.
Chapman scuffed it. Indy 11 will take advantage of the gift given by Detroit City. Detroit City does have a couple of draws in league play. 2-2 against Birmingham Legion, 0-0 against Monterey Bay. Both of those coming in Hamtramck. By the way, Indy returns the date on August 9th. Indy 11 fans, that is one of the games that we will be doing a road broadcast of. And I'm thankful that's the case, because there are few environments like the one on the south end of Detroit. 30 seconds left in this one. One final push forward. Amu-Mensah making the overlapping run. Blocked away by O'Brien.
Nice play. Great tracking by O'Brien. You can't give in. You got to play to the last second. You got to play to that whistle. Don't let your guard down. Keep fighting.
Amu-Mensah launches that as close as he can. He'll head that one down. That'll be a restart for Salt, and that might just be that. No need for further activity. Well, at the end of the day, the Indy 11 have 6 points through 6 matches in league play. That's not what they had hoped for to start the year. Yet, given how things played out tonight, you'll take this point and run to the locker room.
Absolutely. You know, you come from 2 goals down early in the game, and you have the resiliency to come back. Then you go down a man, score a goal while you're down a man. I mean, it's a heck of an effort from Indy 11, and I would think that Coach McCauley would be pleased with the point.
And it is a run that we have not seen by a player in an Indy 11 uniform in a long time. Again, including the Jägermeister Cup game, Elba Simone has scored 5 times in the last 3 Saturdays. We'll talk to him, Sean McCauley, and more when we come back to downtown Indy.
Every place has a purpose, and the people who inhabit those places have their own reasons for being there. The last thing on their minds should be concerns about the safety of the places they are in. When it comes to security and safety for all the places that matter, Dormakaba offers a seamless flow of integrated solutions that allow people to move securely about their daily lives. Because the places that matter to you matter to us.
It's very true that it takes a village to raise a child. And when it comes to my healthcare village at Community Health Network, it's all nestled right in my phone. Accessing healthcare is the ability to be connected with your provider and ask a question when you need it. I feel like when I'm meeting with a community nurse practitioner or doctor, they're tuned in to what is going on with me and the way that they can serve me best.
Stand by me. Find it, try it, paint it, love it. 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 Find it, try it, paint it, love it, love it, love it, love it.
Another match where the Indy 11 give up multiple goals. Another match where the Indy 11 score multiple goals. That only tells a fraction of the story. Indy was down 2-0, 15 minutes in. They were down a man with 30-plus minutes to go. They still find a way to get a point. 2-2, the final result tonight. Let's get to our securing the point moment, brought to us by Allegiant. And again, the Indy 11 did not get the win tonight. It's our lockdown play of the game. It's brought to us by our friends at Schleg. And our lockdown player, if you will, was Hunter Salt in net.
Yeah, he had a great game tonight. Made some great saves. Kept Indy 11 in the game. It was a huge, huge factor in this result.
Outstanding effort by Hunter throughout the course of this one. As Sean McCauley's post-game conversation continues, we'll hear from him coming up in a matter of moments. They'll go thank the supporters, and then we'll have player and coaches start to head this way. Indy 11 not playing a match here in this building again, barring an Open Cup match later this month. Won't happen until May 28th at Philadelphia. On Wednesday, an Open Cup action. Saturday against Sacramento on the road, a late night game. And a Friday night game that we will televise on May 16th against El Paso Locomotive. And it is back to Jägermeister Cup play on the road, getting us a team from League One, that being one Knoxville. That is the schedule for the remainder of May before the Indy 11 come home. And again, they hope to have another Open Cup match in that mix on May 20th or 21st. But first things first, it will be against the Philadelphia Union. Dan, what are your takeaways from this one for the Indy 11?
You know, the come from behind win, Greg, says a lot about their character. They haven't had that kind of luck or resilience in recent games. So to show that kind of comeback routine and play with that level of, you know, they didn't quit. They didn't give up. They stayed in it. They fought. They possessed most of the second half. They had a really, really great possession rate until they went down a man and still found a way to, you know, tie the game up. So it's it's a great performance by Indy 11 in spite of the fact that they didn't get the win, but they did come from behind. I mean, it's an impressive comeback.
Well, let's talk about securing that point. It is brought to us by our friends at Allegiant. And what secured that point was the second goal of the night, a brace in back-to-back weeks from Elvis Amo.
Just brilliant. Takes it to the outside. You know, Herrera comes out, kind of stays stiff there on the 6, and Amo just buries it far post. He didn't have that much room, but he found a way to put it in.
And as a broadcaster, I'm like, all right, how do you work in an Elvis reference? I think Indy 11 fans would simply say thank you. Thank you very much to Elvis Amo for what he has done over the course of the last couple of weeks. I know that's the way Sean McCauley feels.
Fantastic.
As he is set to join us coming up here in just a matter of moments. And Coach is ready. And Coach, again, I know your goals were to get 3 points and not 1. 1 is better than none. How are you feeling after this one?
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest, I'm disappointed because, you know, if we don't give them a 2-goal start, I think we do get 3 points and we run out comfortable winners. And I think if we competed earlier and not on the back foot and not scared and not, you know, with any doubt, play with a bit more aggression in that first sort of 15-20 minutes, I think we do win the game. I don't look at this as a negative, though, because the character of the players and their willingness to keep going when we get a man sent off, and you know, we got the goal just before we made the change with the substitutes, and I thought the substitutes worked incredibly hard as well. So overall, from a group, I think we go away pretty happy, but we've also got to have that little bit of taste in his mouth, because if we can do that with 10 men and not play well and still get a point out of against a really, really good team, there's a little bit of disappointment there. But we have to take the point, like we said last year. Every point's going to be valuable towards the end of the season.
Listen, it's easy for the play-by-play guy to talk about the guy that scored twice, but my goodness, Sean, he has scored 5 times in the last 3 Saturdays, and this was his first start in league play. Elvis has done this in this league for some time. Your thoughts about the run that he's been on over these last couple of weeks?
Yeah, really pleased for him. You know, he's great. You know, working with him Monday to Friday on the training field, he's got an excellent approach and attitude, which is why he's had the career he's had. You know, so I'm really pleased that he got 2 goals, especially against the team that he used to play for. You know, it's I was always thinking Seba's going to come on and score the winner, and it's going to be an absolute nightmare for me. But I was pleased to see Seba as well. But, you know, we are really happy with the way Elvis has approached the last few games, because when he comes on in his threat, and tonight when he started, I thought his second goal was excellent. I like a really, really good finish.
Coach, the beginning of the game, obviously, it you know, you get behind quick, and you know, you said it, you showed the resilience coming out and finishing this game and coming back. But what can the team, or what can you do differently to, you know, get them out of the gates quicker or sharper, so they're not giving up early goals and having to climb back the whole game?
Yeah, I know it's an interesting one, because I think for the first 5 games of the season, including cup games, maybe 6 games, we'd scored first in every game. And then we were conceding late. Now we're conceding early. You know, it's a little bit like you pull the blanket over your head because your feet are cold, and then your head gets too warm, you put your blanket back down to cover your feet. And I just think that our approach needs to be a little bit more confident. There is a nervousness to us playing. It's not through the training we do. You know, I see these guys on Monday to Friday, and they're absolutely excellent. And then there's a little bit of a block on a Saturday, and I need to dig deep in terms of my experience and the resources that I used to have when I felt like that, and try and share that with the players, because I think we've got a good team. I just think we need to carry a little bit of luck and, like I said, stop the early goals. And then I will say this, you know, with 10 men, the defending for the last 15 minutes I thought was excellent, so we stopped a late goal going in.
All right, so whether this was a good result or a bad result, you knew you had to kind of put it behind you quickly, knowing you're catching a flight to Philly on Tuesday and playing an Open Cup match on Wednesday. Then after that, you come home and then go to the West Coast and play a match on Saturday night. Just your thoughts on the next challenge in front of you in the Philadelphia Union.
Oh, yeah, I mean, that's going to be a really tough game. Great experience for us. I think we can go and get a result, you know, because I think any game that you play, you've got a chance to, you know, to get a result from. I think it's going to be really tough, because I think Philly are a really good squad because they've built it with excellent academy players, worth quite a lot of money. And then they've also invested in really good players in the transfer market from international signings, designated players. So whoever plays, I think it's going to be a really, really tough test for us. But we'll go there with a really good attitude and a good belief that we can try and get something out of the game. And I think we'll reflect on this one, knowing that when your back's against the wall, which it might be in Philadelphia against the MLS team, you know, if we can dig in deep and defend like we defended and take his chances, I think we might surprise a few people.
Thanks for the time, my friend. Good luck in Philly on Wednesday.
Thank you.
Sean McCauley, again, kind of to join us here in the post-match as he always does. Again, our player guest today will be Elvis Amo and Ben Afemu. They are going through the handshake and autograph lines as we speak. Maybe nothing says this rivalry like 31 fouls being whistled over the course of 90-plus minutes.
And some of them very hard fouls.
And again, the cards that were given, those are 7 yellows and 1 red that was given as part of that, too. And the possession stat is not a surprise when one team plays a man down for 35 minutes. That possession number is going to swing. Yeah. Your thoughts about the numbers you see in front of you?
Well, the possession number was almost split after the first half. Second half, yes, Detroit had the majority of the possession because it, just knocking the ball around. So, but these stats are pretty indicative and showing Indy 11 coming back and coming back from 2 goals down. Very, very impressive comeback.
Our post-game coverage continues after this quick timeout. Again, we will track down Elvis Amo. In fact, he is heading our way now. And we'll hear from Ben Afemu. Indy 11 down by 2, 15 minutes in. They find a way to get a point while being a man down. We'll keep talking about it next on My Indy TV and ESPN+.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.
Forget all those DIY schemes to try to keep your family cool. Because at Williams Comfort Air, we've got your back.
Ma'am, everything's up and running.
We look forward to keeping your home comfortable for life.
Imagine a health insurance company that could look beyond doctors' offices and hospitals and help its members find what they need to actually live healthier lives, like a stable job, dependable transportation, or a safe place to live. Well, that health insurance company is not only real, but making a real difference right now. At CareSource, we're removing barriers. We're improving lives. We're reimagining health insurance.
Our team at Security Federal Savings Bank welcomes you to our newest location, our West Carmel branch on Michigan Road, here to serve you. All the services you expect from a premier bank, personal and business banking, wealth management, trust services, and much more. The Security Federal Savings Bank branch team offers the expertise and knowledge you want and expect. Security Federal Savings Bank, proud of our team and our newest West Carmel location.
See some of the young fans getting to enjoy their time on the pitch. That was kind of the area where Elvis Amo did his damage tonight with a pair of goals. Again, a brace for a second consecutive match. 5 in the last 3 Saturdays, and he joins us now. Elvis, congratulations. I know, again, you guys were hoping for 3 points and not just 1, but to get a point from that scenario was pretty impressive. How are you feeling after this one?
Yeah, like you said, we were pretty disappointed not to get the 3 points, but we'll take the point, especially with the situation we found ourselves in the second half. So we'll take a point. Yeah.
You have scored goals wherever you have been at in the States over the course of the last 6 or 7 years. What is it that has kind of led to this success you've had these last 3 weekends?
Kind of like approaching the game in a way where we just want to go on the field and try to win. For me personally, just to go on there and support my teammates as much as possible to get a win.
You have, Elvis, you have so much talent inside the box. Your vision and your opportunistic mindset is just so fun to watch. I mean, how do you explain what you're doing out there? What are you seeing out there that you've been so successful? It's just been really fun to watch you play.
Yeah, I'll say thank God for talent, but at the same time, with the support of my teammates, you could see that I get assists from. I got the assist from Queenie, and then last week as well, I got the assist from also Elliot. So it's more of like knowing where my players are, my teammates are, and then I'm trying to also always feed on those loose balls there and there. Yeah.
Both goals were impressive. Let's kind of go to the second one, knowing when you're a man down, you know you have one or two chances at most in a scenario like that one. Just kind of take us through that second goal, what you saw, how the play developed.
So I saw a long ball coming over to Queenie, and so I knew that he was going to win the challenge, so I just started running in behind, and then thankfully he just was able to get the first touch of the ball, flick it, and so I was able to get in and just get a finish.
Final thing before we let you go, again, you've been in the States long enough. You know what these Open Cup opportunities can be like. Your thoughts about facing a Major League Soccer side in the Philadelphia Union coming up on Wednesday night?
Yeah, it will be a tough matchup looking at the type of team they have. So we will go with the same mentality, of course, try to win the game as much as possible. And so now we just go back, recover, and then we play on Wednesday with the same intensity.
That recovery starts by getting off your feet, so go do that, my friend. Congratulations on the 2 goals. We'll see you here in a couple of weeks.
Thank you.
Elvis Amo, again, kind enough to join us